and I will send you the link. If you haven't heard from me by like 24 hours, just send me a message and yell at me, and I should be good to go. But I will probably not forget. I've only forgotten once. don't let me forget. What happened one time, it was like 3 days, and I was like, I even had it uploaded and titled and everything. I just somehow forgot to send it to them. So I was like, yeah, it's just idiot. Okay, so what got you interested in coaching?
Well, I mean, I just like improving.
Okay.
I get dopamine from watching my numbers go up.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I just like your content.
Okay.
It seems like
Appreciate
educational.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. And then I'm seeing your forum, GM1 top 500. So I assume you've been around in Overwatch for a little while.
Yeah, I played in Overwatch 1 a bunch, but I played tank in Overwatch 1.
Okay.
What to support?
So what made you transition into support?
Well, I was high ranked on support, even though I didn't play support. So I thought like maybe I'm better on support. And also like I was playing off tank, so my kind of
I see. Rip your roll.
Yoink.
Yeah. Off tanks haven't aged super well. Definitely more niche. Okay. And then basically now you are support, and it says like you got a scrim coach. So I assume that you're like playing support for a team now too, right?
Well, not right now. I'm like trialing and looking for teams.
Okay.
That's like I was running for a team.
Okay, makes sense. But that's like the goal, is to play support for a team. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
yeah.
So I mean, as long as you enjoy the role, you know. I mean, I pivoted roles like 3 or 4 times when I was climbing up through the ranks and doing different stuff. So as long as you feel like, I mean, obviously, like, oh, I'm better at support, but I mean, if you enjoy it, sure. Just.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, makes sense. All right, well. Let's look at your form here. What do you hope to get out of the session? Get a better understanding of my job as support in different compositions and situations, as well as general points to improve on. So it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a bunch of games that you just kind of want to look over and not just like, oh, what are my mistakes, but like, how do I play this hero in this situation? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's correct, but also I think I will improve like since I made the form like a month ago.
Okay.
That's kind of what I've been focusing on, so I've improved on that a bit, but yeah.
All right, perfect. Sounds good. Okay, let's keep going through the form here. What are short-term and long-term goals in Overwatch? Short-term, improve as a player and get higher in top 500. Long-term, not sure. Where are you at in top 500?
Like 240.
Okay, 240. All right. Hero pool, Lucy's in on a Brig, Mercy, Curious. So you got the Noah's Ark. So why all the supports? That's rare. Is it just something you enjoy? Is that one of your strengths as a support player? Is just the ability to flex easily, or what?
Yeah, well, I would maybe drop Kiri out of the hero pool there, but like I'd like play all the main spots because I play for like scrims and stuff.
Okay.
And then I have like Ana and Zen as like ranked picks.
Okay, makes sense. That's a lot of heroes. If you end up playing for a team, which I assume is going to be happening soon enough. Now, well, have you played on a team before?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've had experience. I guess it's just like if you really want to be pushing deeper into top 500, it might be worth specializing just a little bit. Like I get it that like Mercy is not exactly going to get you to climb to top 50 for sure. But I mean, Lucio Brig could. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So something to consider, like especially if you're playing with a team, you're going to have to learn how to be a little bit more efficient with your time. So on that note, where are you in terms of training time right now? How much do you play ranked? How much scrims? All that kind of stuff.
Well, I play like maybe like about 2 hours each of like serious ranked a day, and then I have like maybe 2-3 scrims on like good weeks.
Okay, so 2 or 3 scrims a week, 2 to 3 hours, 2 hours of rank. So you're getting around 24 hours a week.
Yeah, I mean I do play more Overwatch, but it's just not very serious. I just kind of fuck around and play with friends.
Yeah, okay. I'd say that's decent. For your goals, there's definitely room for growth, but I wouldn't. Let's put it this way: 2 hours of ranked when you're scrimming every day is like perfect, right? Because you got 2 hours of serious ranked, 2 hours of serious scrims, 4 hours total. That's kind of like the ballpark of what we want to aim for. The problem is that. Go ahead.
I mean, the scrim downs might increase because, you know, I don't know.
That's right.
I might be tuning.
And that's the thing, right? That's the thing. What I would say, though, in the meantime, though, is on any days where you're not either trialing or scrimming, then I would be throwing in a little bit more rank than 2 hours if you can. I think something like 3 might help you to get that much more mechanical practice. And some of the stuff that we'll talk about that's more compositional specific for scrims, there's still be things that you can practice in ranked. So I would aim for 3 to 4 hours a day if you can, especially for the goals that you're setting. Okay. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Okay. What do you feel is holding you back from improving? Obviously, it's been about a month since you filled out this form, so as you said, things might have changed. But you said at the time, deeper understanding of the game, how to adapt playstyles to different scenarios and maximize value. Can you elaborate on any of that, or let me know when and where that has changed?
Well, I think the playstyle things gotten better. I kind of know my job a little bit more since I think about the game a bit more.
Okay,
but
sure. Sure. What matchups were you struggling at that you figured out more?
Well, I mean, just anything that's not the by the book comps. Obviously, if we have a rank comp, I just kind of know my role. But if it's a silly comp, then I have no idea.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay. Well, I guess refreshing that question to now, you've made some progress, you've made improvement, but what do you think is the next step for you in terms of progress and improvement? Where are you looking to improve?
Well, just mostly on consistency, and also just making a bit more plays, making a maximizing value.
Okay, so consistency and maximizing your value a little bit. Okay, sounds good. Sleep looks pretty good as well. I don't really have a whole lot more in the form that I have to ask. Do you have any other questions or any other things that you would like to go over?
No, I'm good.
Okay, you want to look at some gameplay here then?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's take a look here. So, what code do you want to start with? I mean, and we could also how do you want to structure this review? Do you want to be more thorough? Do you want to dance around from code to code to code? It's up to you.
Well, I'd rather a little bit deeper into the Lucio scrim.
Okay.
And then we have a quick look at the
we should have time. We should have time. We're moving at a brisk pace here. Okay. I was gonna ask who you were, but that's easy enough to answer. I'm gonna turn the audio to 30. Let me know what the audio level's like. Is this okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. So then we get all this situated. Okay, so the nice thing is, obviously, at your level, I don't have to ask you what your hero's strengths are. It's going to be more about how you're interpreting those strengths in the compositional matchup. So I guess looking at the enemy composition, are there any priorities for you? Are there any roles or any things that you need to be aware of?
Well, nothing huge. I mean, I need to speed my run if he gets walled off, or if Ram is engaging on my supports, then I obviously need to speed him out and speed right in, obviously. But yeah.
Of course. I mean, you can think about it either you're allowing your team to get value out of your cooldowns or denying their ability to get value out of theirs. I think this is one of those situations where, as Lucio, occasionally when we see Brawl mirrors, we have Lucio's more taking angles because you have that secondary DPS, but with the Symmetra, I'm not so sure that you're going to be taking too many angles. So definitely making sure that you're in and out, so your pushes and pulls are really, really, really tight. Okay, let's just take a look. So, little bit of a disconnect here. Obviously, was this a trial or just a pug or fill or ringer?
Yeah, it's just a ring.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously, I would like a little bit more decisive action at this point in time. You need to be at this point, honestly, already at here. You seem a little bit hesitant to push back, but at this point in time, you need to be up here booping these guys out of immo, or at least getting them closer to where you can actually follow up a little bit more. So more aggression here would have meant that your Reinhardt survives. Just a small thing.
I was just a little bit unsure if we were pushing or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. And how much of that issue is being unfamiliar with the team? I'm not sure. Just something to point out. Okay. So again here,
a little bit far back again.
Yeah, it just feels like you're lagging too hard. I think the reason why this is so important is the most important thing that you can be doing, like I said, is either denying their cooldown value or enabling yours. And in this one, it's really going to be about enabling. So let me ask you a question. This is going to help you play these matchups a lot better. Who is the most important boop target? This is kind of a trick question, but because the answer isn't really obvious. But what do you think in most trades is going to be the most important person for you to boop?
Probably Mei.
Probably Mei, right? And where do you booping Mei?
Just a little bit further away from my Ryan, hopefully.
It's actually the opposite, and that's what most people mess up. So the most important thing you can be doing for Mei is to boop her in, not out.
Okay.
So the reason why this is the case, in Overwatch 1, you were concerned about freeze, right? And you also had Matrix and all these other things. But in Overwatch 2, that's no longer the case. The slow is somewhat relevant, but it's very, very, very difficult to do. And honestly, pressuring or freezing or slowing Ryan isn't really that valuable. The most fragile person on the battlefield in these circumstances is really your Mei, because she's the one that's not, the tanks are just so much more beefy. So what you need to be doing is, the best thing that you can do is the Meis have to stay stacked with their tank, because if they split, you know how it goes, right? Then you wall off the enemy Mei so she can't get a wall, and then you punish the tank, right? So you have to have the tank and the Mei stacked so that they can each wall each other. But the problem with that is that leaves both Meis vulnerable to pummel or Rhine swings, right? So what you do is the Mei tries to play like really, really, really like carefully, but you ruin that. Now, I want you to watch this from your perspective here. So yes, you're too hesitant, right? For sure, regardless of what we're looking at here, whether you want to boop away or in. But right now, you need to be on either here, booping that Ram and Mei in, or even if you weren't able to make it, you were here, booping this Mei in guarantees ice block. And ice block advantage may be the most important cooldown besides wall. It is unbelievably important. Did you watch the Vegas and London matchup this past weekend?
Yeah.
Okay. Luke Mino looked like a master's garbage can on Mei. And honestly, he doesn't play Mei, obviously. So like, but it was obvious because Backbone was absolutely abusing him. Every wall, they wall him, and he, meanwhile, he's like focusing Ryan or whatever, and he gets focused down, ice block forced, and then he dies, or he gets blizzarded every single time. He didn't know what to do. And that's something that you need to be enabling with the way that you're like. Lucio is so good at enabling that. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
And even like your shots here, right, are important. Like you can go in and boop her in and just shoot her. If you guys force ice block here, get an ice block advantage, that makes it really dangerous. Because the other thing about ice block as well, think about it. What does ice block mean that the Mei is doing?
Nothing.
Nothing, right? So in that in of itself will also give you a cooldown and damage advantage. If you force their ice block first, then that means that your Mei is doing damage while their Mei is not. Something to consider. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I like this, by the way. This was something I was keeping an eye on first fight. But where the amp maybe not the best, but as soon as things kind of get static here, you immediately swap the heal song.
Yeah.
So that was good. That's a habit that a lot of people don't build. But honestly here, like we can look at this fight and be like, okay, the amp probably wasn't necessary. Right? Look at everybody's HP. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So the amp wasn't necessary. So this is where you'd sit on amp and then you go 3, 2, 1 amp speed now. And that amp speed is what's going to kill this guy, right? That hammer needs to hit him. Okay. So he doesn't get amp. Your Rhine gets slowed. Look at the Batiste's HP. Okay. And look at the Mei. Right? She doesn't have ice block. This Mei should have died. Mei and Bap should have died, and we can blame both of those things on you. One for your target focus, the second for your amp. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's keep going. Where are we at here? Like obviously here, there's not a lot you can do. All right. And then obviously your role becomes even more important past neutral, because I mean, as soon as these ultimates start coming online, you got to decide, are we inting with this ult? Are we trading ults and then saving amp to disengage, right? So like, you tell me, look at the ult game that's going to be traded here. What do you think you could use amp for? There's not any one right answer, obviously. There's a lot of answers, but what do you think? What are your options?
Well, I mean, if they're like window and it's good, we can just beat them, like run at them, or just save everyone from Blizzard or Ram ult or basically anything.
Yeah, you can even sim wall and end and just basically use sim wall to go right past the Ram and Mei, right? Just go all the way under the back line. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut you a lot of slack because the most important way to use amp in these situations is to actually be comfortable with your team. So what's probably going to happen is you're going to mess up your amp usage here, because you're not familiar with these guys. But I want the goal should be to try and know exactly what you're doing and try to execute with your team. You kind of see what I'm saying? So know that, try to make it work. If you get like mixed signals from your team and they say kite the window, but then your Ryan pushes in, you're like, crap, what do I do? That's okay, it's not your fault, right? But that's at least what you want to be aiming for, right? Like for example, right here, theoretically we're going in. So the amp speed, very good. Now I will say, where do you need to be once again?
Like closer again.
Right, closer, and on who? Can you see?
With that on the Mei.
Right, on the Mei. Boop this guy. Even at this point, you could even boop her away because it's Sem. But get in there. Get in there. Because you're getting good shots on Ram, but it doesn't matter. He's just gonna stand there and block, right? This guy has to be so much more of your focus. So even in this matchup where the angles don't really matter that much, this was kind of an angle, right? at the very least, focus on the squishies, right? Aww. You're too high ranked for this reaction speed. Heal song, heal song, heal song. Unlucky. It was too slow of a swap. Wait. What was this? Oh, I was like, I was literally like, how did you get back so fast? Nice. Okay, TP. Nice boop. Oh gosh. Oh, maybe. Nice. Okay, yeah. You get. They're cooked this fight. Okay, same thing here, right? We're gonna speed in and Blizzard. Are we gonna focus? Are we gonna BAP window? Are we gonna kite out the Ram ult? I'm probably gonna be more in, even with the Ram ult. Probably just Blizzard on the Ram. So this is again another one of those situations where you just need to go in. Like I understand there's probably a little bit of hesitancy around Ram ult here, but if if this is team play coordinated, what's happening as soon as they pop Ram ult? What is your team gonna do?
I mean, hopefully focus something. I'm
not sure. Right. I mean, but I guess the answer for macro would be you'd Blizzard, right?
Oh yeah.
So you don't need to be scared. It's basically you could even consider beat here, right? Either way, you should not be scared here. So you go in. You could focus Mei, you could focus Ram, you could focus Lucio. I mean, obviously we talked a lot about Mei, but like, let's just get you in. Okay, there you go. There you go. Nice. All right, so this fight's won. Okay, moving on. I will say this is one of those situations where a little bit more of heal song would be helpful. Just so that, I mean, you already have beat, and I guess if you're talking like min-max, your Batiste can build a little bit of window off of this, but I don't think you're doing that on purpose. I think it's just kind of a habit of yours. And the reason why that's important is that it opens up a little bit of healing, AoE healing support, right? You'll build your beats in general a little bit faster, and more importantly, you'll allow your Batiste to not have to do like chip healing here. He'll be able to actually like soldier 76 on a Lucio or on a soldier or on a Mei or something like that. That's pretty important. So just a little detail that I noticed from the first fight and in this fight, just to keep an eye on. I'm not going to blame you for this amp as opposed to the other one, which I think was just objectively bad, because I feel like you guys were calling the push here, maybe.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you may not remember, but it seems reasonable to push off this. You guys have a good wall. You guys are committing sim wall. I will say that if you were expecting to push here, where would you be?
Probably close to the Mei and Ryan.
Right, close to the Mei and Ryan. Maybe also positioned here so that you have like an easier ride, Boop this Mei out. I promise you, if you boop this Mei here, she will use Ice Block. I promise you. And you'll have a massive advantage for the fight, right? Something to consider. Yeah. Okay, so setting yourself up for more aggression here. And then if you are like, okay, I guess we're not pushing, right? Because I mean, look at your team's body language, right? Then why amp? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's either push in and boop in with the amp speed. Oh no, my team isn't pushing. What? Why are you guys baiting me? Or react to what your team is doing and stand AFK. You're doing a little bit of both. And so you don't get anything out of the amp speed, and you don't really get anything out of the boop either. And I think that's atrocious. I think even though we can blame some of this on team coordination, which is just unfortunate, right? You don't play these guys. Regardless, that was not great from you.
Yeah.
Okay. I assume you're going to beat this?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine to go for backline there. Obviously could have been mechanically executed a little bit better, but the idea was fine. I think you kind of get lost in the sauce this fight, but that's just more of a mechanical mistake, not the idea, which is fine. Mechanics just practice, that's all. Your idea there was fine. Okay, surely this will be it. Again with the amp, right? Just, it's honestly, it's okay to just be like, you know what? I'm not going to use it, right? What are we amping here, right? If you can't answer that question, then you, like, right now, this is just, and there's stuff happening, therefore I'm going to amp. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Well, I kind of wanted to amp to get Lucio. Get the Rhino on the Lucio mod. But...
Okay. You know what? If you provide justification, go for it. Good. Nice focus there. Perfect target. Okay, nicely jumped. Okay, do you have any questions so far?
No, not really.
Okay. So for the most part, I'm looking at making sure that your amps have a purpose, making sure that you're postured more aggressively off of these walls, targeting Mei and not just general pressure, and then maybe a little bit of the habit of making sure that you're sitting on heal song when nothing's happening, just to maximize your alleviation of pressure, and also to maximize your generation, like building beat a little bit faster. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
So is it like better like at the start of the round, or like when you see the enemies, to just like actually just like pick a target and like just mostly focus on that, like, you know, in the Mei, and just like tunnel vision on the Mei, or is it just like generally like?
I think the Mei one is more of just experience that we know that that's the best target. And so what you need to do is you need to answer that question yourself. Like, obviously, if you look at this matchup right here, I doubt, especially considering the comp that you guys are running, that you have a lot of experience knowing what are your priority roles, right? It's complicated, to say the least. So then what you need to do is you need to think about this objectively and then go practice it and see if you can answer that question. Now, I don't know how much practice you're going to get versus this composition, but you should at least have an idea of who that person needs to be. So like, you look at this composition that they're running out on right now. Okay, Pharmacy, Tracer, Ana, Merciless. What do you think?
Ana, hopefully, as long as she's not like super far away.
Sure, Ana. Okay, who else?
Mocking Tracer.
And that's it, right? Now there will be times where D.Va overextends and you peel off your Kiri, or you get an opportunity to roll out on the Mercy. But for the most part, it's going to be those two heroes. So that's kind of like knowing not only your 1v1s, knowing your matchups, but knowing who's going to be in a position for you to pressure, right? You would love to roll out on a Baptiste and a Reinmir, but he's too far away. So you got to take what you can get, which is the Mei. Now, I also like this as well. So I don't know if this is purposeful, but the advantage of the Kiri is that she's self-sufficient, or should be. So for you to be marking Tracer and for you to be marking Ana, or going for Ana, you will not always be able to stack with your squishy, right? But you need to also trust that your squishy can take care of themselves. For example, if you're too passive and you sit on your Kiri, then that might enable that Ana or that Tracer to be able to set up perfectly good angles and nades and shots, and then they die anyway, right? So the best thing you could do for Lucio is to go pressure those targets so that your Kiri and Sojourn don't have to worry about it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think being more proactive here, even like, I don't know that I necessarily be going for the Pharah right now, but like looking for Tracer, like where, okay, she's over here, okay, where's that Ana? And being more proactive with your setup here is really, really important. Like, there's Tracer. Look for Tracer. Avoid Pharmacy, but where's Tracer? Where's Ana?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
Even if it doesn't mean stacking with your Kiri Sojourn. In fact, it's better if you don't stack with your Kiri Sojourn so that your Kiri has a consistent escape route, right? Your heal aura is useless. Like, it's nothing, right? At least on a solo target, so. I think this is fine. I just think a little bit more, like, trying to avoid the Forest spam better. Like, not to sound corny, but, like, really, truly, you guys just died to Forest spam. That there's not a lot to that. Okay, let's see. Stay on her. Like, really, yeah, stay on her. Because she's going to be screaming for help, right? Somebody's going to have to go back and help her, and that's how you help your team.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to go Reddit mode, and you're going to need to go Reddit mode here. Like, right here, where's the Tracer? Check the flank. Like, I would be checking, check here. Okay, Farah's there. Okay, she's there. Okay, you know, check here. Okay, when do we want to go? It's not even necessarily about, like, we need to go fast tempo, so much as that we need to be finding their DPS. If all we have to worry about is Farah spam, then that's okay. But like here, for example, you're being too much of a coward, respectfully. Your mechanics are not even that bad, right? You have the ability to do this here. So, like right now, obviously you're down one. What should be happening right now?
Yeah, I should be on the Ana.
You gotta go, right? And again, once you get on that Ana, would you then turn your attention to Tracer? Maybe. Right, but you need to go. We're going, right? So like here, you pull up. I think it's probably because you didn't realize that you got shout, but no, you should not pull up here. We need to go. Nice shot. See, you're fine. If you'd gone even faster, maybe you actually survived that because you would have continued your wall ride through and then be able to take high ground and you know, possibilities there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And this is, by the way, another situation where like. Do we benefit more from the speed on our core? Or do we benefit more from you flanking with your Genji and going off in a 2v1?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I don't know. But
I don't know either, right? I don't know. But it's not very obvious, is it?
Yeah.
You're not necessarily going to be speeding on the Ana because she's too far away. She's on a high ground. She's inaccessible. So there's a lot more value had to be controlling space, controlling angles with you duoing up with the DPS. Because remember, that's what makes Lucio unique, is that Brig, even Mercy, can't do this safely, right? That she would die. Both of them would die. You can. You don't help, and you're also like, yeah, you don't heal the Genji a lot, but you do a little bit, and you also do damage yourself. So here, I think... From what I'm seeing, I would have liked to have seen you go with Genji, personally. The only reason I would have liked to have stayed with your core is what? What would make sense? Why would you ever stay with your core here and not go with Genji?
Well, I mean, obviously the speed on someone, but like probably in my mind, I'm thinking like the survival markers. You know, they have Diva Tracers and they can pressure me pretty well. So
right.
It's not completely safe going with the Genji either.
Right, no, it's not. But at least there you have the ability to 2v1, pull their attention elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
That's something that I would consider. Maybe if the Tracer was here, maybe I would have stayed because there would be something for me to do. But I think right now you can kind of feel it. What's your contribution, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of existing. And then the amp heal and then almost dying yourself. Nice. Nice. Go find that Tracer. Tracer on a finder. And like the funny thing is too, at this point in time, who should you go for at this point in time? Right. Who should you go for? Should you go for the Ana?
I don't think I could go for the Ana.
No, you could not. Why?
Kill it.
Yeah, Diva, right. Diva, right. So then you go for point. Now if the Diva flies here, now you have an opportunity, right? Right. So I think what you do here is correct. Find the Tracer, find the Tracer, find the Tracer, find the Tracer. There she is. Now we go Diva. Where's the Tracer? Where's the Tracer? There's the Tracer. Now the Ana's dropped. We go back. Amp there is a little bit wasted. I think you got, like, we're trying to get out the safety, so I won't pick on you too much. Where's the Ana? Where's the Tracer? By the way, how should you use your beat versus this?
Well, none of her is fine. I'll just like inting in.
Yeah, whenever. Really, whenever. It doesn't even matter how you use your beat, just as long as your team does something with it. Okay, nice. Good amp. Where's Tracer? Where's Tracer? Don't even look at the far right. Avoid her spam. Stay on the Tracer. Nice. Amp speed. Oh, guess not. That's okay. And this, by the way, so this is where we get cute again, right? So you might be speeding onto somebody, but you know where that Ana's gonna be, right? She's gonna be here, or she's gonna be here, or she's gonna be here. So then where should you be right now?
I guess statue would be closer.
Closer. Okay, where else could you be? Think about controlling space.
I mean, yeah, high ground with
right.
Genji.
Be with the Genji, right? So worst case scenario, you're there to help the Genji versus the Ana or versus the Tracer or whatever, and then you can still speed your core from this position too. You can have the best of both worlds. You see that?
Yeah,
you gain nothing.
I mean, the first kind of a danger if I'm on the high ground.
That is true.
Kind of go
that is
over
true.
there.
That is true. That's true. Beat is fine. Amp speed. I would honestly not worry about point here. Because this is last fight, you don't need to worry about like them flipping. If they flip, you still win the fight anyway. Just make sure that you win the fight. Stay with your team, help them win the fight, then go to point. Okay. Any questions so far? We're still rolling.
Yeah, we good.
Okay, let's keep going. So from that one, mostly fine. I think continue to be a little more attentive about like how aggressively you can play when you are pushing. Keep looking at those amps because that's always something that you can improve at. Let's keep going. Same thing here though, right? Now, the interesting thing here is what has changed, obviously, for your role, let's put it that way.
Ball and also no clear target.
Not as much of a solo Reddit Lucio target. However, more responsibility, right?
Yeah,
now,
the ball.
Right, so you have to worry about, again, it's not necessarily about peeling a specific target because technically your composition as a whole can survive a ball tracer engage easily. But it's going to be about trying to deny their ability to put pressure on your team. If you boop or peel or shoot a ball tracer and even a Kiriko on a flank, right? That might mean that your Kiriko doesn't have to TP or doesn't have to Suzu, which then might mean when the Pharah ends, your Kiriko can get away and then kill their, Mercy, right? Mess up their job. Mess up their job. You're not peeling for a specific person. You're just messing them up. You're dueling the ball. You're dueling the tracer. There's no particular person on your team that you're trying to peel. It's just a person in the enemy team you're trying to screw up. That's the idea. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I would be a little more attentive to, again, what's happening behind you, because the ball, as soon as he goes here, even if he rolls directly at your team, that's not scary. What's happening behind you is what's scary, right? Because if he rolls into your team, worst case scenario, your team's going to see it coming. It's going to be fine. And I will say, the other thing as well is how do you win or how do you lose this fight? What position really matters right now? What person really matters right now?
Yeah, the Sojourn is
right. It's always angles. That's always angles, right? So the Sojourn, whether this is a feed spot or not, if she's able to stay here, maybe she actually can charge a rail and makes it really hard for the farm. Because what does the pharmacy want to do? Like with you guys in here, right? Where does she want to position?
Yeah, like a Bobasan behind us.
Right, like right here, right? So the Sojourn being here makes that really spooky. If you're here, now she can stay here. Now, I would also say that you could flip-flop this. You could have your Kiri here, and you're with your core. But even if that was the case, where would your attention be right now? If you're with your core and your Kiri's on your Sojourn, where should you be looking?
Well, yeah, still on the Sojourn and like the Tracer.
Still on the Sojourn and still on the enemy Tracer and Kiriko. Not looking straight forward. Even though it's the ball is coming directly at you, not a concern. So your Sojourn's going to die, and that's a disaster, right? And by the way, look at also what's happening in your backline as well. Your Queen's getting like smoked. So I mean, obviously, a bit of a disastrous fight. Oh my gosh, your Queen is just built different. I don't even want to know how that Tracer used her blinks.
Close.
Perfect. Yes, just be a nuisance. Constant nuisance. Constant. And then obviously like mid-fight, like their comp, you can kill a lot of things, you know. Even Pharah is killable technically. She has to get pretty close. Yes, yes. Slay. It's okay. You lost attention for just one tiny little second. They murder your soldier. Alright. I've never said slay in a bot review before. Oh man. Okay. Again, attentiveness. I don't like. I think this is kind of similar to what you're doing on Night Market, where it felt like you knew that the ball tracer, but like move, check, like do this, There's no reason not to move around a little bit, right? If anything, it makes the far harder to hit on you. But don't just sit and be like, I'm gonna spam this angle. No, move, speed. Like, is he over here? Like, you gotta know, right? You need to get off a point. You can't see anything from here. You have to be here, right? Because you being here is so important, because it's going to be like, oh shoot, the tracer's over there. Wait, no, the ball's here, right? You need to know these things.
Okay.
You need to know. You need more information. Now this ball, I had a window. Like, there you go. The Genji's doing all the work though. I mean, it doesn't mean necessarily leaving your team, obviously. What is going on? Like, what? Like, who is this individual? Unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, this is fine. I mean, it doesn't feel very good, but it's value, right? 1-for-1 trade. If you can mess him up, tank for support, I'll take that all day. And you're still getting passive value with your aura as well. Be more aggressive here. I want you to be more brave. Like, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna die to Pharah, right? But like, you're dying to Pharah anyway. Like, you're just gonna have to take risks. Because if you're gonna die, at least get something out of that death, right? Oh, I denied the ball, but I got hit by a direct. That's all right, Again, here with the beat can be used like however you want. Where's Tracer? Was ball? There's Tracer. There's ball. Nice. Could beat this if you want to. Oh no. Unlucky. Yeah, you guys just lose. Mine's split. Okay. Where is she? There she is. There she is. Yeah, see, this is like super important. It's like, this is a bit of a disaster, from like how it's being executed. However, what you're doing here makes good sense, right? You anticipated, you turned around, and you peeled. It's good, right? It's good. The way your team did this was just embarrassingly bad, but you did a good job. Yes. Now, what I will say, as soon as you see that this is pharmacy behind you, what should you do?
I'm not sure, really.
I'm not sure either. Because we've made so much of a fuss about, like, turn around, control the space behind you, control the flanks, right? But then this isn't really a matchup that you can help a lot with, so I don't really know. Because I'm like, oh, if you help these guys, then maybe they win the pharmacy trade. But then you're not very good versus pharmacy yourself. So would it be better to just ignore it and just focus on matching and marking these guys? Probably, but I also wouldn't be mad if you turned around back here. I don't know. But this is kind of the nuance that you're going for. Everything for you is the two categories that matter. Is it an angle or a flank? That's more of a priority. And then number two, is it a matchup that I'm comfortable in dealing or peeling with? Tracer, Ball, Genji, Winston, and so on. And you need to take those two factors and use them to decide what you want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That's
why it was such a big deal that we weren't marking Tracer Kiriko here, because it checked both boxes. It's a good matchup for you to peel, and they were on the flank. That's your responsibility. If this is a pharmacy on the flank, I'm not really sure. Like, you could help, but I think here it just needed you to be decisive about what you wanted to do, right? And I like the beat. Find that Tracer, find that Tracer, find the Tracer, find the Tracer. I think Tracer gets priority over Ball, personally. Because it's just easier for you to. She's not only more kill threadable, but she's also more killable herself, right? Like, this, right? She doesn't have recall now. She should be cooked. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Ah, unlucky. Okay. Do we get another fight? Maybe. Yes.
No.
Okay. Unlucky. Unlucky. It's the OT replay code. Okay. So we can move on to the next code really fast, but let's just put up some goals for you really fast. What are some things that you saw that you need to practice, whether it's in ranked or in scrims?
Well, picking target, checking more and like moving more to make sure I know where like ball and tracer are.
Yeah, picking impact targets to peel / pressure, whether because the May and the tracer. The reason why you pressure May and tracer is not just because I can peel those targets, but also when you shoot those targets, they have a much higher risk of dying. You get both, right? Yeah. What else?
Well, being a little bit more decisive and playing close to the team. Was there something else?
Yeah, 1 second. And then passive heal aura when not moving, plus keeping an eye on amps and brawl mirror. So this was more of a brawl mirror thing. I think your amps and the dive stuff made a little bit more sense. Same thing with the aura use. But something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on. Because I assume, especially with the queen meta we have right now, that there's going to be a lot of amp and AFK heal aura brawl mirror stuff, right? So I think that's going to be an important little micro detail to clean up a little bit. Okay, do you want to look at Brig Scrim or Unranked? We'll probably have time for one of those.
Maybe Anna then, I suppose. Brig is more solved.
Okay. I got to coach some Jotes yesterday for the first time. It was fun.
Nice. Let's
put it this way. It's fun because I haven't done it in a long time. It will no longer be fun in like a week. It's probably my least favorite composition. I do not enjoy Junker Queen Goats. Not sure how you feel about that matchup. Okay. Ana, impact with nades, hit your shots, shoot people. That doesn't mean you have to peek Widowmaker. Don't troll the lobby. Super simple. Now, you look at your composition, especially in this matchup, you're gonna have a lot of freedom with what you want to do.
Yeah, this is kind of a silly game.
Yeah. I mean, Kiri Ana is a fun support duo because it means both of them don't have to heal bot, right? Especially when you're playing with the diva. Okay, so you are really like you're playing with like two half DPSs with your supports right now. So if you're not functioning like that, then you're throwing. Like if you're not looking to duel their Kiri or like pressure out their Genji or like looking for nades in their Ana or shooting their Queen, you're trolling. Let's just put that simply. Surely. There you go. Like obviously here you can't really do anything because you guys are kind of playing around like this line right here, right? But as soon as they cross this line here, you know, you can take a look here. Pop, you know, and you can pop there, right? So let's see what you got. Okay, long POV. Honestly, don't do this. More of a micro thing. Even if this nade hits the Queen, doesn't matter, right? What you gonna do?
Well, not push for 5 seconds.
Right. She's not even in a position where you guys can push her either. She's also like too high in HP. I have no idea why she shots. Their Widow's also dead too, so like just have a reason for your nade. Nade on a Genji when he's actually pushed, or nade on an Ana in the backline just matters. Like right there, like obviously I don't know that, and you would have been able to react with nade fast enough. Your boy just melted, but nade there would have actually mattered, right? Nade here would actually, like right now, if you have nade, what are you doing?
I'm nading there.
You're walking into this guy's face and saying, screw you, I'm gonna 1v1 you. Ego him, right? Ego him.
Yep.
But you can't now, so you know. Again here, DPS. The nade first off needs to hit. And honestly, if it's like this distance and you're a little bit concerned that I'm not really sure where he's going to be rotating to, because like you predict him to go back, but he doesn't. He keeps rotating. That's why you missed the nade. That being said,
I was just expecting a team to come with him, but
okay. But you need to be aiming for him, right? And you also need to be aiming for him not with your nade, but with your shots. He needs to be shot right now. Stop hiding.
Okay.
The Widow is not going to peek that angle in the way that she is right there, right? If anything else, okay, then fine. Rotate over here and start shooting him. You need to shoot him. You need to DPS on him. Shoot. Shoot. Ego. Don't stop. 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 Sit right here and ego this guy, right? Control this space. Because if you control this space here and keep him out, then you're never ever going to need help, and then you're going to be able to keep him, like 1v1 him, and then be able to turn and heal. But if you don't look at him, he's going to pressure you, or he's going to wrap around and, I don't know, kill whoever else, and you're going to be in trouble, right? Ego. What you're doing right now doesn't matter. And if anything, you're also opening yourself up to being shot by a Widow. Why?
I don't know.
Watch. You are thinking about healing your tank. You're not thinking about, gee, I wonder if that Widowmaker is peeking here. Right? Or if the Widowmaker is grappling here, which she does. If she's scoped in here, right? There you go. Okay. Deal with your threats. See, this whole offensive mindset isn't just about like putting out more pressure. It's also just because it's what keeps you alive more. If you're only healing your tank when they're not really in a position to need healing, you're wasting your time. Very good. No, stop!
Well, I need to look at my team.
Get him, you know? Get him. You have that one shot. I mean, you know how it is in this 1v1. You hit one shot early on, you have your win percentage like triples. Because he's going to have to deflect quickly, and then he now gets naded, and then he's dead, right?
PTSD from looking away from my team for like 1 second then.
Yeah, I guess so. But this is more of a prediction of your team's composition. And honestly, I don't care if you guys are running like Zenyatta, Reinhardt, or Winston that needs a lot of healing and you have to peel for your Zen. This is more important, even if you were, right? It's more important. You need to win this duel. If you win this duel, the fight's over. You've won. Okay? You need to trust your team to not like, and then, yeah. Like you've done so well in terms of hitting that shot, and you just throw away that advantage. And then the Genji's able to stay, and he actually kills your Tracer. Like, I know everybody, like, the whole awkward mindset of playing Ana is, like, kind of a caricature of how you should play Ana, but he's not wrong. He really is not wrong.
I'm not sure what the...
You familiar with you don't know? Oh, you don't know Awkward, the Ana unranked GM guy?
I know him, but I don't know what...
it's just basically DPS on it. DPS on it. DPS on it. DPS on it. He like basically tells bronze Anas like just to focus on DPS and only heal when necessary, and it's kind of like it's like a countercultural strategy. It's like it forces them to like break the mold a little bit, you know. Anyway, see, yeah, okay. So this is interesting. Keep your distance. Yeah, no, here if you need to. Get out of your Tracer, honestly. That's good too. Love to see it. Nice. This is really good. Nade that. Nice. Run away. Run. You're cracked. This was huge. You absolutely deadlifted this fight. Oh, I thought the sleep was gonna land. I thought for sure. Yeah, that was great, man. Great mechanics, great movement, great positioning, great cooldown usage, good balance of healing and offensive value. It was really tight. Well done. Good try. I'm kind of torn on like nade versus sleep in that instance there, but I don't think it matters enough to overthink about it. Now, what should you do right here?
Well, hopefully nade the Genji or the Chunker Queen.
I disagree, actually. I disagree. I think you need to look at your composition and think, what are the realities of us being able to peel a Nanoblade Genji on a Widowmaker?
I mean, the Widowmaker is gonna die, but like, we can still pressure the Genji a bit.
What did you say?
I mean, I know the Widowmaker's not gonna leave it, but like, if the
right.
Get like naded, then
but here's the question: is there somebody other than Genji right now that would die easier?
Well, Chunker Queen, I guess.
Maybe, right? I'm also wondering what's happening over here.
Yeah.
You kind of see what I'm saying? So you have to make these decisions. I'm not saying focusing Nanoblade Genji is bad, but I think your position gives you a lot of flexibility, right? You could be like, have fun. I'm gonna go trade your backline. And really, that's what your Kiriko and Diva should be doing too, right? If you guys just said bye Widow and just ignored her and walked, you guys would easily kill their backline. Easily. You see what I'm saying?
Sorry, I hated that. I didn't hear that last.
No, it's okay. I said, given your team's positioning here, it would be make a lot more sense if you guys, instead of trying to peel off a Nanoblade Genji on your Widowmaker, just to trade their backlines. Like if you guys are all clumped here, then yeah, you need to focus Genji. There's nobody else to focus, but you guys actually have the luxury of choosing who you want to focus right now. And it's actually better to not focus Nanoblade Genji. It's like, let him do his thing, split up. Don't let him get value out of his dash resets and just go kill his backline, right?
Okay.
Trade.
Yep.
I think this is a big mistake from you, and I think you have the right idea here, right? You're thinking about it, right? And there it is. There it is. I mean, brilliant job. Look. You see? Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Meanwhile, your Kiriko, who's tried to be the nice quote-unquote support, has died for trying to peel off the Widowmaker, and the Widowmaker died anyway. If you guys win this fight, it's off of yours and your Tracer's efforts. It's tragic. Even if one member of your team survived. Nice. Oh, that's a little bit tragic. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a mistake. But even if just your Kiriko had decided not to peel back and actually go help you, you guys would have won this fight. That's tragic. You did a good job. But that's kind of like what I was talking about with like not the DPS mindset, but like understanding the nuance a little bit more of like don't just immediately peel, heal. But the only thing I would ask of you is don't hesitate next time. Know it's coming, the Nanoblade, right? And then be prepared to just ignore the Widowmaker and just go. Right? Because that little bit of hesitation, maybe you kill those two squishies a little bit faster. Now, where should you be?
Maybe closer or the left side high ground, so I can look for like an aid.
Sure, something a little bit more offensive. You could also help your Tracer on the flank as well. I think Kiriko is better equipped for that, but it's an option. Basically, you need to be thinking, what is the safe position where I can put offensive pressure out? You need to consider Queen. You need to consider Genji. You need to consider Widowmaker sightlines. That's the most important one. But I think a little bit more proactive here with what you're doing, you know? Okay, there she is. Can I walk and take an angle on her? You know, maybe here. Okay, Widow's up top there. I can't peek that. Okay, so then I'm going to tuck here and shoot here. Or okay, I can't peek this because of Widow, but I can sit here and shoot the Genji. Maybe I'll try and rotate across and help this guy out, right? Think dynamically with positioning. I think the thing with positioning, okay, especially in Overwatch 2, is there are not set positions that you need to hold. There's not an ML7 checklist of this is where you hold in this map. It is, where are they? I need to put out pressure, okay? And then when you can put out pressure and play near cover, you've checked the boxes. Because everything else is too complicated. Because it constantly changes, right? And then now where should you position, right? Check the kill feed.
Well, yeah, more aggressive. So
Total ego. The longest sight lane that you can. You are now a sniper. Use it.
Yeah.
Good. Should have dropped.
Yeah, I should have.
That's okay.
No one can hide from my sight.
Your Widow's popping. No, what? What? What is he doing? What is he doing? He just walked into it. Oh my gosh. This is foolishness. Give me 1 second. I'm actually gonna let the next session that we're running over just a little bit.
Yeah.
Over just a little bit. Okay. Okay, now they're on Tracer, so they just made your life really easy. Okay, because now what kind of offensive pressure position are you considering?
Well, yeah, I don't need to worry about the long sidelines anymore.
Yeah, just shoot. Just total sniper, full out. You need to be very careful about getting too close to like short flanks, right? But it's a lot easier when they pick a dimension, like double sniper, double flanker. It's a lot easier, right? So like here you're doing a lot of heal botting. Peek again, shoot the Queen. Peek again, shoot the Ana. Fish for a nade. Walk over here, look for a sleep and a nade on the Genji, right? You need to be careful about getting close to Genji, but if you know he's coming, or you know where he is, again, it's like, remember the duel over here? When you got the drop in him and hit one shot, all of a sudden the duel was your favored, not his favored. So I think who wins in a close-up 1v1 with Ana, it's a lot it's not super clear, right? You can beat Genjis and Tracers if you catch them off guard. Again, it's one of those situations where, like, obviously we can talk about ult tracking here, but if you know they have a Nano Blade, don't play safe. Don't play fair. I found myself, when working with a lot of, like, high-level Anas into Genji, they don't even go for the sleep dart. Because they're not in a position to sleep the Genji. Because they're literally, like, hard flanking and hiding. Trading backline, right? You know, sell your Widow and then kill somebody else. Or make yourself so hard to read that he never, like, finds a squishy to go for. Like, that's my favorite thing, is you'll play, like, against a good Genji, but you take so many, like, angles and you're so unpredictable with your positioning, they go, like, 3 fights before he can actually find a Nano Blade, right? Because he can't track where you are. Like, it's just like that prevention mindset. Like even here, right? You're pumping healing into your diva. Shoot the Genji, right? You know, pop a shot on card. Anything, right? What's going to help your team more? The 30 healing on Ana or diva? Or that nade right there, right? That nade just forced the Genji completely out, right? Obviously here it's tricky because your diva's half and then, you know, got a healer. But then, like, right here, immediately, very importantly, you shoot this Genji right now. I mean, still, it's actually very important that you continue to shoot this Genji. Even though you missed the first shot, you need to go for it again. Otherwise, your Widow's dead. Let's put it this way. You can see it right here. If you do not shoot this Genji at least once or twice, your Widow will die, no matter how much healing you get. Right? There it is, right? You were lucky. You hit the nade on him. That's why your Widow didn't die. Whether it's nade, whether it's damage, that's how you need to protect your team. Okay. Good? Oh, no. Queen ult. Okay. Get out of here. Yeah, so this is just like, you need to predict that your team is not actually holding this here. And you need to be like here.
Okay, yeah.
You know? Or here. Because from here, it's like impossible for them to close the distance on you, and you could just miserable, right? Like, Genji can't get to you, Tracer can't get to you. If Genji gets to you, he has to commit dash. It's ugly. This is too easy. Way too easy. Nano is fine. Unfortunate. Nice nade. Nah. I understand. It's not your fault. Nice leap, mate. Now get out of here, right? Get out of here. Go, 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 go. Don't stay, don't stay. See, this is the thing, right? If they, you know, you don't really have a good angle to shoot from here, right? If they blade, nade, nano, Kiri ult, Queen ult, anything, shout and push you. You're not in a good position for this. This positioning would be good versus what kind of heroes? What comps?
A little bit slower, who can like catch me as well.
Right, more range. Something like a Widow Hanzo, right? Or you know, a Zenyatta comp where you want to kind of close the distance, right? This comp, but versus this, doesn't make any sense. You're too easy to access. And I understand that you're probably reacting more to where your team's positioned, but then in that, if you guys want to spawn hold here, then you would want to do this here, right? Okay. And then if your team is giving it more space, then you can rotate to this here, right? Again, there's not an ML7 checklist, right? Because 1, 2, 3 all make sense. Just depends on what's happening on the battlefield. Yeah. Get out. Take high ground. Nice shots. Get out, get out, out. You could definitely take top left here. You know? Yeah. Definitely take top left here. And then you got a really nice sightline on that queen. Definitely a situation as well where a little bit more offensive pressure would be useful, even if you are on the floor. Good nano. Nice. Okay, so what are you doing well on Ana? What are things that you're doing well on Ana?
Heal botting.
Okay. Well, let me rephrase the question. What things are you doing well?
I mean, I like the heal bot playstyle, but well, I mean, I hit some nades there, but
yeah, lots of nades.
Taking more 1v1s and like pressuring more.
Sure. So I think for things that you're doing well, I think your nanos were good. Felt very much like in the fight, you're nanoing who's like actually getting engaged on or engaging in, right? So that they were good nades, or not nanos. You're hitting nades, right? Which, I mean, obviously at your level shouldn't be like a big surprise, but you're hitting nades and you're hitting some good shots too. So there's lots of good things here. I think the things that need to be improved upon is like your offense, your pressure mindset. More offensive pressure. Think about ROI when playing. Return on investment. It basically means that if you have a critical squishy, it is more important for you to heal that squishy than it is to shoot the enemy tank. If you have a full squishy, it is more important that you shoot the tank than heal 10 HP on a squishy. If you have an enemy tank or a DPS, it is more important that you shoot the DPS than the tank, because of the 75 damage matters more. If you have an aggressive tank and a passive support, oftentimes it's more important to shoot the aggressive tank than it is to shoot the passive support, right? So you see there's like a whole list of factors that you have to consider, and you're going to be able to make those decisions, but that's something that you need to be putting your attention to. Consider enemy comp when choosing sightline, okay? So we talk about positioning as a way of interpreting which sightline that you should take, right? When you're trying to put offensive pressure, Widowmaker makes that really hard. But that also means that you can get more aggressive in terms of proximity. You can get closer. Like, think about that one Widowmaker 1v1 you had in first point, right? When they nanobladed your backline, you just got up in her gillet, right? She went for a grapple. She's like, oh crap, and you just destroyed her, right? That's what we want to see, right? Whereas Genji tracers, if you can catch them off guard and get up close, but then there's also nothing wrong with just playing sniper on it versus them. Sound good? Okay.
Yep.
Anything else that you saw?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to shoot me a message. You also have